A very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Nicola D'Souza.
At 9. I'm Alexander Holmes, and here at the International Desk we have been closely monitoring the crackdown on Mohamed Morsi supporters in Cairo. Join us later to find out more.
I'm Saskia Bannerman, joined you on the Newsfirst International Desk for a report on the release of 26 Palestinian prisoners by Israel this morning.
Newsfirst at 9.
On the latest from Egypt, it has been reported that a cameraman from the Sky News agency has been killed during the clashes in Egypt between pro-Morsi supporters and the armed forces.
That's right, a large number of people have been killed in the unrest that broke out while Egyptian authorities have imposed a month-long state of emergency.
We have a comprehensive report on the turmoil in Egypt, but before that, let's take a look at the headlines.
Headlines on Newsfirst at 9.
Demonstrators and armed forces clash in Egypt, death toll tops 100. 18 crew members killed after an Indian submarine explodes. 1,500 million rupees allocated for the forthcoming North Central and Northwestern Provincial Council polls. SLFP says that it is committed to free and fair elections as a party and as the government. Estimates begin to grant compensation to soybean farmers in Hurluwewa.
Newsfirst at 9.
On to your stories in detail now. President Mahinda Rajapaksa has appointed a commission to investigate reports of missing persons from the northern and eastern provinces during the war. The three-member commission, chaired by former High Court Judge Maxwell Paranagama, who was also a member of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission, and also comprises of former LLRC member Manohari Ramanathan and the former Director General of the Department of Census and Statistics, Priyanti Suranjana Vidyaratna.
The Commission has been given the authority to conduct the necessary inquiries and investigations and submit a report to the President within 6 months. According to the Presidential Media Unit, in his instructions to the Commission, the President stressed the necessity to identify the persons responsible in cases where abductions or disappearances are found to have taken place and to take legal action against those responsible. The President indicated that the inquiries are being conducted in the interest of the public security and well-being, and in order to determine what measures should be taken to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future. The head of the state has also directed all public officers and other relevant persons to provide their support and assistance to the commission appointed.
The Elections Secretariat says that an estimated cost of 1,500 million rupees would be incurred for the Northern, Central and Northwestern Provincial Council polls.
Additional Elections Commissioner R.A.M.I. Ratnayaka said that the funds will be allocated for the Department of Elections, the printing press and other institutions.
Thereby a large sum would be allocated for the printing of ballot papers and other documents.
A large portion of the money will be spent on the distribution of ballot papers and the distribution of packets for postal votes. The Election Secretariat says that 150 million rupees would be allocated for the police department for the upcoming provincial council polls. The Election Secretariat notes that another 9.2 million rupees will be spent on the deploying. The Election Secretariat says that another 9.2 million rupees will be spent on deploying labourers to remove illegal posters, cutouts and banners.
The Election Secretariat says it has received 92 complaints regarding the violation of election laws. According to the Election Secretariat, the highest number of complaints was from Kurunegala and the Matale districts. Thereby, 23 complaints were received from Kurunegala, while 16 were reported from Matale.
According to the Election Secretariat, the majority of complaints have been lodged regarding UPFA candidates. Last night, a certain group had damaged the house of a UPFA supporter in Nikavatia. The house belongs to a supporter of Northwestern Provincial Council candidates Perumal Herat and Manjula Dissanayaka.
Deputy Minister of Resettlement Vinaya Murthy Muralidharan attended a function in Batiklo today. Here's a look at the comments made at the function.
Everyone speaks of the 13th Amendment. I have spoken the most about the 13th Amendment. I have spoken about it constantly in Parliament. I even spoke to the President. This is because the 13th Amendment was brought for us. It is the only force for us. We have said that we want it. I have never said to do away with the 13th Amendment. I have spoken with the President and he has a good understanding about it. He has never said the 13th Amendment will not be implemented. He has attempted to amend certain things in it. Even that has become a problem today. No matter what, we are of the stance that it should exist.
Speaking at a media briefing today, General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Maithripala Sirisena, said the SLFP is committed towards a free and fair election, both as a party and as a government.
As a government and as a party, we are committed to hold a free and fair election. The Elections Commission informs us of the wrongs and flaws committed by our candidates and supporters during the election campaigns. We are taking the required steps when needed. We have given strict instructions on the use of state vehicles and other state property for election purposes. We have also strictly emphasized the need for a disciplined election. As a political party, we have gone to the people. I can clearly say that we can achieve a victory in the North Province with the support of the TNA. This election is taking place for the victory of the Northern Province.
With just over a month to go for provincial council polls for the North, Central and Northwestern provincial councils, the campaign stage is heating up.
Here are some of the views that were expressed at a number of public rallies that were held yesterday and today.
A public rally was held in Chilaw yesterday with the participation of Minister Vimal Weerawansa.
You know that prior to this we have held elections because we are not afraid of elections. Although the opposition leader is showing off as a fighter, is he not afraid of this election? He is afraid. Even 4 years after the war ended, if Ranil cannot build a force against the government and show us a victory, then those who are currently with Ranil will also begin to think that it is pointless.
Sarath Fonseca, the leader of the Democratic Party, participated at a public rally held in Ovilikanda, Matale.
There is no justice in this country. If students are being thrown into prison cells when they protest, then there is no justice or fairness in that country. We have seen incidents of child molestation. All these actions are committed by politicians. We have seen incidents of rape. It is government politicians that are responsible for these. We have seen incidents of murder. It is government politicians that are being sent to the gallows. You saw how a provincial councillor made a teacher kneel. Instead of giving him the nomination, they gave the nomination to his nephew. The nephew has now said in public that after he wins, he will resign and return his uncle to the seat if he is requested to do so.
UPFA candidate for the Northwestern Provincial Council, Atula Vijay Singha, participated in a public rally held in Buluwala, Kurunagala.
There needs to be experience in order to do anything. High position cannot be held by those who come and go. Kingship will not be granted to someone who has just arrived. We are not prepared to grant it either. He has not been named either. We shall see. It is the people that will decide everything. We must all bow to public opinion. The people are the jury. As the jury, the people will decide whether you are destined for the gallows or whether you are to be acquitted. We shall allow this to go on until then. It isn't far away. This will all be resolved on the 21st of September. I am not the kind of person to shout that I want everything. I do not want everything.
UPFA parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa participated at a public rally held in the Karuwalagasve area yesterday.
Most of the time when someone from the opposition tries to cross over and join the president, it is not the people in the opposition that try to stop it. There are some embassies. Leaders in the opposition do not try to stop them. But there are some embassies that approach them and say do not cross over and that they will assist them to topple the government.
Welcome back to the news. Egypt's presidency has declared a state of emergency for a period of 1 month after scores of people were killed when security forces stormed protest camps in Cairo.
The camps had been occupied by supporters of former President Mohamed Morsi, who was deposed early in July.
The Muslim Brotherhood say that more than 100 people have died so far, although the authorities put the toll at much lower.
Newsfirst Alexander Holmes reports.
The scene in the capital had been described as one of terror, with residents hiding in homes as the security forces used tear gas, rubber bullets and in some reports live ammunition against the protesters. Plumes of smoke bellowed up from the city as the security service set alight anything from car tyres to tents and market stalls inside the camps. Barriers set up by pro-Morsi supporters to defend the camps were demolished by bulldozers, while cell phone service and electricity were cut off. Trains in and out of Cairo were suspended by the security services to stop Muslim Brotherhood members attempting to travel into the capital. The city had been effectively sealed off by the security forces, although the police from the beginning offered cars to Morsi supporters willing to leave the protest peacefully. Unrest had been reported to spill over into other parts of the city. A forceful crackdown on the protesters was largely expected. The Interior Ministry had said that force would be used, but the level of brutality had taken many by surprise. The Interior Ministry said that they were taking necessary measures against the protest camp, and that they were keen not to shed Egyptian blood.
Everything to lose, everything to gain. That seems to be the mentality driving both sides of today's conflict. For Egypt's military, clearing the protests sends a strong message that they are here to stay. No face can be lost. For the Brotherhood, to win is to stand firm and let the world witness the bloodshed in Egypt. The hope being that they will be seen to hold the moral high ground. I'm Alexander Holmes. This is News First.